Too Much Dip Podcast. It's Monday. My name is David. I'm going to host. Joining me in studio today, filling in for one Dillon Shivery. This is a guy we all know and love. He is the host of the Cold Stove podcast, also the Mail-In podcast. He's just a utility guy of the highest order. His name's Big Game Brett Merriman.
Thank you, Dave. Four-tool player myself. Speed has never been my thing. Best day of the year. NHL playoff hockey starts tonight.
Is that tonight?
Tonight.
What a coincidence.
It's crazy that you're wearing a very nice Tyler Seguin jersey.
I'm kitted up. I'm going to sweat through it here in the studio, but it's worth it. Brett, man, we're happy to have you. It's timely. Brett's going to be nice enough to sit in on the whole show. He's got some takes. He even introduced to the rundown a new segment, which I haven't even looked at, haven't reviewed it. So if it goes poorly, pretty much all on him. But also, the buck stops with me and KJ. So who knows? But I trust Brett. So let's introduce our other co-host. This is a guy. Here's a guy who lives out around Madison way. In fact, he lives in Madison, Wisconsin. His name's KJ.
Coming to you live from where it's still winter, apparently. Shout out to all of the 70-degree weather I had last week. It was beautiful. In fact, I think I'd put on a medal celebrating my survival of my first winter here in the Midwest. Karma caught up with me, and we had a light dusting of about 3 to 4 inches overnight. And as far as I know, maybe still some flurries. Who knows? So yeah, just seasonal depression. Just projecting that out there. How you fellas doing?
Great.
With Austin, and we're going to regret saying this probably in a month, the weather's been remarkable. It has not 90-degree plus one time so far.
The evenings, have just been so pleasant.
Gorgeous.
You got to cherish it. And you get, I think we said on circling back, you get 10 actual days where you can go out, not worry about sweating too much. And then also your allergies won't kill you. I've been having a good time. Been taking extra long walks with the Ran Man, my dog, and my son and my partner Rhodes. But it's been great, man. KJ, I'm sorry, I don't mean to rub it in. I know you're going through it. 3 to 4 inches is no joke. To me, if I heard that growing up, that there was a chance of 3 to 4 inches of snow, I was like, well, shut down the fucking city. Shutting it down. Can't function with that. That's too much sno.
It's a lot of stress on the grid.
Call the
That
boys, mix it up.
You got a shovel any snow?
I pushed some around before walking Wallace. It was my dog. Leads to the fun. Where's Wallace around the house? Never really gets old. It should, but it doesn't. Knocked that out early this morning. Ran out of energy by about 10 o'clock.
Do you have any rock
that's
salt
when I just dove into the
in the
rundown.
garage, KJ?
Rock salt. Oh yeah, I've got some no melt laying around. It wasn't that bad. It was just more of you really felt ready to appreciate every beautiful day, which we've had a decent handful of. And as soon as my wife was like, hey, I've got a conference going out of town for the week, enjoy it. We get a slate of snow and rain, which last time this happened, we had daycare shut down. It was hell. That's not happening this week. Good vibes only from here on out. Speaking of which, anytime there's an excess of any condiments, I've got to bring it up. I feel like one of my group chats, somebody established very subtly that they were flush with some homemade salsa. David, anything to share with the fellas as we get into meat smoking season?
KJ, I think you're aware that I kind of went on a taco journey. I went a little taco crazy, taco loco, as you could say. Over the weekend, during a 24-hour period, I did, in fact, eat 12 tacos, 12 carnitas tacos. I ate 12, Brett. Homemade.
Oh, my God, Dave.
I made my own carnitas.
How many different settings? Or, how many different?
3.
Okay.
Dinner, lunch.
Not
dinner.
bad.
Within 24 hours. And I got to say, the way my tum-tum has reacted after I just ate lunch, not tacos for the record, I'm a little worried, but that's okay. That's not the point here. The point is this recipe that I made, it has you cook the carnitas in the oven. You just put them in there for like 3.5, 4 hours. Let them cook. And when you're done, you drain the juice, and then you use that to make your tomatillo salsa. You
Mm.
get your tomatillos, you put them in there, your jalapenos, some onion, blend it up, put it in the Vitamix, chopped it up, real good, something real proper like. Made about I don't know, half a gallon of fucking tomatillo. It was an insane amount of tomatillo. I'm just looking at it like, okay, I feel bad wasting this, but we don't have. I mean, we can't fill up multiple containers of Tupperware with tomatillo because it's not going to stay good for 3 or 4 days. So we had to dump out a lot of it. But yeah, KJ, I'm thank you for asking because when I initially sent that I was making a carnitas recipe to our Call of Duty group text, I don't know why I thought I'd get more. Nobody responded for like 3 hours. Then Zach, our friend Zach, was nice enough to be like, "Hey man, how'd it go?"
I missed the initial warning shot, I guess. Maybe that's what my issue was. But then I saw the slew of the fact that others in the group had also decided to smoke some meats, and I was quite jealous. Quite jealous. If you've got a shaker bottle around, just pick that bad boy up, fill it up with some tomatillo sauce. I don't know, maybe mix in some AG1. Who knows? Get crazy with it. There are many ways to, make do with extra sauce around the house.
Yeah, that's fair. Man, I don't know. You just casually sneak in an AG1 shout out.
I am disappointed you didn't bring it in.
I don't know.
I mean, we could have done something with that today.
I still have some.
I would love to try your tomatillos, Dave.
I can give you the tomatillo. I'm out of the carnitas. I am out. As I stated earlier, I had 12 tacos during a 24-hour period, and part of me was thinking like, is this because you think of like a wild animal when they eat, like they don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as you guys are aware. It's like if you're like a wolf, you say you take down a llama or something.
Is
that not a thing?
I just don't think there's enough crossover in the range of either animal.
Let's say you get a hold of a cow.
Okay.
You bust in and you just get that cow. You're eating off that thing for like the entire day. You're just kind of grazing. You run off, go force them with the boys maybe. Then you come back, eat a little bit more. So like the stomach of the wild animal, it's used to that. Whereas humans, we have variety. And I was wondering how my body would react from just eating 12 tacos, 12 carnitas tacos, corn tortillas, onions, cilantro, homemade tomatillo again. I was just wondering how it would react. And it reacted quite well. But I'm on possible tum-tum watch here for the next 2 hours. So
you and Will.
Not to stretch this out too much more, but I'd like to commend you for recognizing, hey, we have an excess. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. As my daughter had her first birthday last week, happy birthday to her. Camille's pretty freaking excellent. We had her whole birthday cake. It was me, my wife, Kai, and Camille. That's too much. That's way too much. I too made the decision. You know what? Nobody needs to be picking off this 3-4 days later. What am I going to do? Put in the kids like daycare boxes to go to school with? Like, I know one thing was going to happen if it stuck around. I was going to be eating it at like 11 o'clock. Got rid of it. That is a far, far journey from where I was. I don't know, maybe post-grad when I would do Papa John's Ranger 7 promo and leave the pizza on top of like, I don't know, a cable box or something to stay kind of warm for maybe a day-ish or so. And then just, pick up a slice on the way out each day.
God, I knew people who would just leave the pizza right in the box, not even put it in their fridge, and just graze off it for the next couple of days.
I think
I try to keep it warm.
So you're saying the cable box kept it warm from like the use of that? Like you throw it on the Xbox when it's like doing the thing where it sounds like it's taking you off?
Man, that's depressing as hell, dude.
What?
If you put it in the kitchen, it's free game. When you've got 3 or 4 roommates, you're not risking whatever, like, okay, I have a pizza for $7. That's food all week. I'm not trying to be at Wednesday and I don't know, JB or Bryce have just like gone ham on half of my sausage and pepper.
Keg in the closet, pizza on the cable box, left over from the night before. That's not how it goes. That's a different version.
Exactly. Let's do sports.
I'd love to. Dillon's not here. He did go to the UT spring game. The only thing I'll share on that is that a mutual friend of Dillon and I's, in another group, Dillon and me, our buddy Mitch, he texted in my group like, "Hey, I heard Arch sucked ass." So I texted Dillon in the Too Much Dip, "How'd Arch look?" He said, "I look like a freshman," and I was like, "Yeah, that's a nice way of saying he sucked ass."
Mhm.
So that's all. Who knows? And again, Arch is 17, right, or 18. He's a kid. He'll be fine. Not here to dunk.
He's
on
not in
Arch.
his hometown, but I think he is 17. You're right.
Oh, great point. A lot of good callbacks today. Brett,
Hey.
we got ourselves some NHL playoffs tonight, as you are aware.
Oh, you want NHL?
Oh, were you going to do NBA?
You didn't want the I mean the Charlotte Checkers and Lehigh Valley Phantoms play tonight. And the Rochester Americans, the Buffalo Sabres affiliate. I thought that's why I thought you wanted. So that's my expertise. They play the Syracuse Crunch, Dave, as you knew.
Oh, the Crunch. Who's the captain?
Crunch.
Of the Crunch?
Yeah.
He's like Jean-Pierre Zougemont.
Dude, he's a great player. He's a great prospect.
Yeah. So that's okay. Texas Stars, number 1 seed in their division, Dave.
Got a little farm system.
AHL, not what we're here to talk about. The NHL playoffs, the best playoffs in sports. KJ and Dave, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Cold Stove podcast, you can hear more about it in depth, but we're here to just talk. We're here to talk hockey. I am beyond excited for multiple different series here. There's a great bracket lineup. The Leafs are going to lose again in the first round. Can't wait for that because hockey Twitter is a buzz when that happens.
So that was my first question for you.
Yeah.
And I said, I was going to ask if this was the year the Maple laughs, KJ,
Oh.
if they make it
Okay.
out. Because it's been, what, like 20 years? 19 years?
Well, they haven't made it out of the first round in 6 consecutive playoffs. Like they have such a monkey on their back. It's almost absurd to the point where this thing is all mental. But they picked up Ryan O'Reilly at the trade deadline. Last time somebody did that, they won the Stanley Cup. Another dig at the Sabres there.
Oh.
So I'm just saying, it doesn't look good for the Leafs.
Doesn't look good for the Leafs, he said. Okay, noted. And I do have to say, follow our friend Pete Blackburn on Twitter for NHL coverage. Yeah, he skews Boston, which is fine. He has every right to do that. But he is very funny when it comes to ripping opposing other fan bases. Not even like whoever Boston's up against. He'll give you some Maple Leafs digs, and it always delivers.
Yeah, Boston's got those Florida Panthers in the building this week.
Cinderella team, maybe.
Yeah, it's a down year for them. They have some good players. Kachuk is probably a deserved Hart Trophy. That's the MVP. He's going to get some votes.
Why'd you mansplain that?
Because the NHL, their trophies are named. They're like people names. You know, they're not just MVP. The name means something.
I think that's how it should be.
Really.
I like that.
So
I
it's
like
like the
people-
Gold Glove should be like the Cal Ripken Award or whatever.
I was gonna say the Hank Blaylock Award, but yeah,
Mike Schmidt Award.
yeah, the Mike Schmidt Award,
Wade Boggs, most beers drank on a flight.
bro.
I really spent all that time trying to find like something salacious to say about Frank Calder, but can't find anything.
Oh, there's
No,
plenty of
cons-
problematic figures in early NHL history. That's for sure. But Bobby Hall, R.I.P. You just take one look at him, and you know there's problems.
Quick uninformed hockey thought on the Stanley Cup playoffs. Is hockey going to do anything about their expansion draft structure / rules, as we have now the Kraken also in the playoffs? Granted, they're going against the Avs, likely going to be out in the first round, but I feel like it's the only league that absolutely juices their expansion teams, as the Golden Knights are still a relevant franchise. Not relevant, but
Oh yeah,
worth their salt. And now the Kraken are there too.
Yeah, it says something about how they do it. They don't give them the automatic first overall pick, but they give them a top 3 pick, like top 3 protected or whatever. Then they have the lottery chances. I also think there hasn't been a ton of expansion outside the NHL in the last 20-something years in sports, right? Like, so there's
true. So maybe it'd be
you
different.
have Montreal becoming Washington, but you don't necessarily have like new teams since NBA maybe in the 90s or
Panthers, Jags would be or Texans technically.
David Carr kind of year. Like,
Yeah.
So there really hasn't been a precedent in this salary cap era of sports. But
Great point.
the NHL, it's tough to be like, how do you do it? They said you have to pick from 8 players on each team, and you have to protect so and so and so and so. You can protect 8 players total, but only a max can be 5 of one position or whatever it might be. So yeah, there's some tinkering that needs to happen, but it also speaks to the depth of these NHL teams that you can take 1 or 2 guys from each team or 1 guy from each team, and as long as you have a goalie or a coach, all of a sudden things happen quickly.
I remember being upset when the Knights took Cody Eakin from the Dallas Stars. I was like, you cannot take Cody Eakin.
Well, Dave, I'm glad you felt that way because nobody felt that way after.
Yeah.
Absolutely nobody.
Yeah. He's much maligned on Twitter, or was. I don't know where he's at now.
He might not be playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Kind of ruined his life, so maybe they should change that.
Cody Eakin is currently playing with the SCL Tigers of the National League.
Wow. They got the Punks next week, too.
Yeah, that's a
When do they play the
question.
Checkers?
You know what? I don't know where the National League is. It is the League of Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
The Swiss League.
Shout out Cody. Probably nice
Not
over
with
there.
Salt Lake.
Higher taxes, but good quality of life.
Okay.
What?
I want some actual playoff takes here because I want to feel like if I did choose to make a quick jaunt across the Illinois border to place any wagers, I'd have some sort of idea of what's going to happen aside from Boston definitely not following through with how their season went.
Yeah, that's kind of the hot, not hot take, a cold take at this point, if you will. The Bruins had the greatest regular season of all time. And to follow that through and win the Stanley Cup would be, it'd feel chalky, but it wouldn't be because when the playoffs roll around, you throw out the record books, as they say, KJ. So it would be the chalk answer, but it's also so hard to win. Winning 16 games over the next 2 months is as hard of a thing as there is to do in sports. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if any of these teams knocked them out. The thing I wanted to say is if you're watching a series for the first time, maybe you're dipping your toe in the water as far as hockey goes, let me point you no further than the Kings and Oilers series.
Ooh. Got some star power here.
Connor McDavid had 150-something points this year. That hasn't been done in decades. Like crazy amount of points. And his team is so good and they're so fast and fun that they win games like 6-5. They're not playing the 2-1 like 2004, 2005 hockey. If you're wanting to just have fun watching a hockey game, watch Kings Oilers because both teams play fast. Kings are super young. They're kind of like the up and comer. They shouldn't necessarily be here yet in their rebuild, but they're finally kind of ready to make that next step. Same thing with New Jersey. And that's going to be a blast to watch. If you want to watch just some hardcore, you'll know 50 to 75% of the names on the ice. Even if you're sort of a casual hockey fan, that's the Maple Leafs and Lightning series. Lightning trying to win their 3rd cup in 4 years. Maple Leafs trying to make it out of the first round since I was in high school, basically. Fun times all around. And then the like KJ mentioned, the Crack House, first time hosting a playoff game at Climate Pledge Arena. They do draw the Avalanche, which is not ideal.
What is the Climate Pledge?
It's Jeff Bezos' thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's reducing the carbon footprint of something. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, they take the water to make their beers.
Oh, okay. Their beers aren't ultra right, are they?
They're definitely not. Good. And then Dave, I wanted to talk about your Dallas Stars here. They draw the Minnesota Wild, who famously they stole a team from once.
Famously.
North Stars.
Bad blood, you could say.
A lot of bad blood. So last year, we got to see the coming out party of Ottinger, who, as they say, stood on his head, KJ, had the Game 7 that they lost, but had 95 saves or something crazy. Probably wasn't that many. This season, they're a better team, a deeper team, as Brett can probably explain better. I've actually watched more Stars this season than I have in the last couple years, pretty much since the bubble. and I'm excited. I don't just put this sweater on for anything. Had I thought that the Stars were going to come in here and lay a turd, I wouldn't have brought out the sweater. But I had to bring out the Winter Classic Tyler Seguin official sweater. Brett, tell me some good news. Tell me what's going to happen here. Tell me the Stars have got a chance to make a run.
Well, if this is anything like the Stars we saw in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, Jamie Benn's going to be crushing Bud Lights, and the boys are going to be absolutely buzzing.
I forgot. We're only a few weeks removed from just watching an entire hockey team go hit the blackjack tables and just actually, I don't know if he was making a statement, but he was drinking Bud Light, just saying that's what was happening. This was pre-controversy.
It was a good time. And here's the thing. These teams have combined for 55 overtime games this season. That is a crazy amount. So this is going to be a close, hard-fought series. If this one goes 7, KJ, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I do like Ottinger.
I'm excited about it.
Ottinger versus Fleury.
Go ahead.
Jake Ottinger versus Marc-Andre Fleury. The Flower.
Mm.
Great goalie matchup. Deep teams all around. You look for a guy like Jason Robertson. You look for a guy like Kirill Kaprizov in Minnesota. He's been banged up too. So I think the Stars are the healthier team at this point. The deeper team, and the Stars get this done in 6 or 7.
How about that Calder candidate that we saw who looks like a child, Wyatt
Johnston? What a stud he is.
End of the year, very nice.
Wiry, just looks like a TikTok teen.
Does not look like a professional athlete. Potentially the most jarring realization I had when you were like, no, dude, that's the young guy. That's Wyatt.
Yeah, I think he is 20 or 19 or something like that. So it makes sense. But yeah, the Stars are getting hot at the right time. The Wild have kind of been limping a little bit, especially when it comes to health. And Dave, I think you take this one home. I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm not trying to say go bet on this information. I'm just unbiased. Since my team narrowly missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up in a very compassionate way. Since your Sabres did not make the cut, who you riding with?
Edmonton Oilers. I have a Stanley Cup future, KJ, if you want to go across the border, if you will. They are plus 750 right now to win the Cup. Not great value there. If you're looking for value, I like Dallas at plus 1,400. I like Tampa Bay at plus 1,400. Vegas plus 1,400. Those are some value plays. Boston is plus 275 to win the Cup. That's almost hilariously low, I guess.
Kind of ironic, to have any, I wouldn't say suggestions, but information regarding friendly wagers when referring to Edmonton. And maybe that's just how good Connor McDavid is, that you don't even think about or talk about Evander Kane being on the Oilers.
Okay. Well,
and how far his career's gone.
I'm not an Evander Kane guy myself. I think there's
nobody is.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and I think there's a lot of fire in his past. But he's played well, and you kind of, I hate to say root for him because he is kind of just a dickhead. But he got his wrist slashed a couple months ago and had blood pouring out over the ice, and you hope a guy's okay in that situation. Never wish injury upon anybody. But like if that's 50 years ago, things can get really, really bad. And so you root for him to be healthy at the very least, off the ice issues aside.
How healthy are the Avs going into this playoffs?
They're not. Gabe Landeskog, not ideal for them. Makar's been banged up. He just kind of came back. So if there's a surprise, I like KJ. Hockey KJ. I like that. But if there's a surprise, I might go cracking over Avs.
Ooh,
I don't like to say it, but if there's a surprise, maybe that might be it.
Is there still rumor of Houston getting a team?
Yes, Dave. There's a vote next month. The city of Tempe, Arizona. Familiar?
Oh yeah, down around Tempe way.
Yeah, Dave. Arizona State, Dave. I don't know if you've ever.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I dated a girl from Arizona State.
Really?
No, that didn't happen.
So Tempe.
No, but one convinced me to spend $9.99 monthly recurring, with shipping and handling being the only fees.
Oh, Randy liked that one. So they have a vote next month. It's a public referendum on whether they should build this multi-billion-dollar entertainment complex, which includes a new arena. Now, if that goes through, then the Coyotes and Gary Bettman's ego are intact. If that does not go through, the Coyotes are probably gone in the next year from Arizona. Houston, Kansas City, Quebec City,
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, you name it. Those are kind of in the mix for a team.
How are they going to? I do not think they could fit a team in Driftwood. Like the fact that they would even have like a Salt Lake team is just weird to me.
Yeah, no, I mean Michael Meldman, he can work wonders. He can pull strings.
Oh, it's a hyper regional niche. I'm sorry, that sucked. I apologize. Check out the Salt Lick though. I saw my buddy Matt threw up in the parking lot after we ate there one time. It's great.
Salt Lake City, Dave, famously has an expansion proposal for an MLB team as well. But little breaking news here, per Kevin Weeks on Twitter. Look out for the Atlanta suburbs trying hockey for the third time. Building a rink.
Is it just so easy to get a rink, get like a new stadium built? Like people they just vote for shit.
Oh,
Like-
yeah, because they're like, oh, that'd be cool. Again.
Yeah, fuck it, man. We'll foot the bill. Let's do it. Let's try. Hey, who cares if our town doesn't have public transportation? Looking at you, Arlington.
I guarantee the North Atlanta suburbs don't. They're just like, yeah. We'll take they just got the Braves. Cumberland, Georgia, Dave. And like a multi-billion-dollar mixed use acreage.
What are we even doing? Is Austin on the list, on the long list anywhere?
They would be if they had a rink at all. I guarantee you, if there was if Tito Beveridge, ironic name, wanted a team in Austin,
It is.
he could figure it out because you'd have to build a rink somewhere near downtown. You'd probably have to make that rink able to play basketball games. So if the Spurs wanted to do a thing every year, you could. They made the Moody Center too small, so you can't use the Moody Center. It will not hold a hockey rink, which
Weird.
feels like a miss on their part.
Real quick, something I felt completely ignorant of was the discovery that former Stars coach Jim Montgomery was the manager of the Boston Bruins.
Mm-hmm. The greatest regular season team of all time.
Yeah, something else I definitely totally knew is that Rick Bowness, after seeing the meme from last week, landed on his feet as well and has a team in the playoffs, former Dallas Stars coach, with the Winnipeg Jets. And I know Hitchcock's retired, but it just doesn't seem like Dallas gets enough credit, the Stars specifically, for having like a very good track record of head coaches. Like Pete DeBoer came with skins on the wall with his work in Vegas. In the Dallas sports world, I don't think we very frequently like look to the Stars as the example of, oh, they hire high quality, coaches that are wanted around the league. I don't think there are similar examples elsewhere in DFW. I don't know how common it is in hockey though.
No, and I'll speak to the Stars. I went for that Sabres game. I mean, a Sabres weekday game in the middle of January, and the rink was packed. And it was an awesome experience. It wasn't like Dallas was this high-flying first-place team. They're kind of just a good team. And I was thoroughly impressed by the entire presentation. The fan base is awesome. And I don't know if you give Gaglardi or whatever his name is credit for that, but there's something special about hockey in Dallas.
Yeah, that's why.
Lindy Ruff is also head coach of the Devils. Sorry.
There you go.
I just
Uncle
realized
Lindy.
another one.
Uncle Lindy, shout out. Yeah, that's why I think it would work in Austin because the reason it worked in Dallas, this actually isn't comparable, but it worked in Dallas because when they came down here in the early 90s, you had a lot of people that, like the Stars fan base, I would say mostly the people who fill the rink every night are not like super sports fans. Like they saw a chance to get into something that's new and there wasn't like a learning curve necessarily, whereas like they probably weren't that interested in sports and like they're not going to just go jump into the Mavs or the Cowboys. So it worked. It's a little bit like of an alternative crowd. And I think it would work in Austin. Soccer's working here, but whatever. That's fine. Houston would be fun too.
Yeah, and Houston is turnkey. The Toyota Center, whatever that the center is now, can hold hockey, has the ability to do ice there, no problem. So that's as turnkey as a franchise could get. And you have Tillman Fertitta as well, who is a power broker among many sports and many colleges, and he would I think he would be involved for sure.
Got it.
But we'll see. We'll see with the Coyotes with that vote. There's also the May 8th NHL Draft Lottery. So the Coyotes will find out where they fall. And there's 3 or 4 generational talents, Dave, in this draft. Connor Bedard, you'll be hearing a lot of him. He is probably the best person to be drafted since Connor McDavid.
Ooh.
Almost a decade ago.
3 to 4 generational talents. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they have this guy, Matvey Michkov, who's Russian. Problem with him, he said he's not coming over for a couple of years until his KHL contract is finished.
Yeah. I wonder how much say he has in that.
Until his service is over.
Right, exactly. And then finally, Adam Fantilli, Michigan kid, Dave.
Okay.
Gonna be a very, very, very talented hockey
Adam
player.
Fantilli. Okay. Noted.
Member of the Ragazzi.
Well, Brett, thank you so much. I'd like to, real quick, give a shout out to our good friends at Athletic Greens. How did I start my day? Probably the same way KJ and Brett started their day, with AG1. Better gut health, more energy, optimized immune system, all that stuff. I don't like taking 5 or 6 different vitamins just to get what I need. Give me something easy. That's why AG1, with just 1 scoop, gives you 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. KJ, all the things.
Shake it up, mix it with your tomatillo sauce, get all of the you'll still get all the health benefits as long as you can finish it, theoretically. But yeah, AG1's critical for me personally because, as David said, taking multiple pills and vitamins just a pain in the butt. You can do one very delicious shake, or not shake, but mix into your water in the morning, nothing else, and you're good to go.
I have dropped it into my protein shakes sometimes. If I forget, if I go to the gym and forget, I'll do that right after as a recovery device. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. And what I like is that it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, all while still tasting good. You know Dillon is not here, but if he was here, he would be very, very much excited that you do not have to intake a bunch of sugar to do so. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/bang. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/bang to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Glad we got Brett on to talk a little seam. Welcome to the seam room. We're talking baseball, Brett. Not very often that if you're a Rangers fan, you get to watch some Sunday night baseball. And we've had 2 Sunday night baseball games here as Rangers fans, which is not the norm. It's been a long time since they had hosted one. But I think we need to start by giving a shout out to our good friend Brent Rooker, of the A's. KJ, you've been following this development?
Yeah.
A little bit of a too
Dude's
much
going
dip
absolutely loco. A little slow start, first couple of games, and the A's overall aren't necessarily what everyone's tuning into for the AL West. That would be the Rangers, Angels, Astros, whatnot. But Brent is absolutely going ham right now, averaging over 300%. Ops over 1,000. Most importantly, as we all expect and know and love Brent for, is 4 dingers right now with 11 RBIs on a very young season. And that's without having played, I want to say 2 or 3 games to get his head right.
Also flashing a little glove out there in the outfield.
Yes, he is.
Flashing
yes,
the leather.
Is. So
doesn't he have like a stupid exit velo going on? Like he's hitting the piss out of the ball.
He's like top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple upper deckers, if you will. But yeah, it's incredible to see this happen. And the conversation he had with us was just, I would say, very humble in a very accurate way. You know, his focus was on making the team, making this roster. And after having a couple of rough games, dude's doing quite well early in the season. So keep it up.
We got to talk MLB City Connect uniforms. This is something that was introduced during the 2021 season to shake up the uniform design across the sport in the most dramatic fashion since the league introduced the turn ahead the clock alternates in the late 90s. I don't remember those, but I would like to go back and visit those. Randall, if you may, toss it up there. The one that's really been, obviously, as Rangers fans, KJ and I, the Rangers City Connects have really caught our eyes. But let's look at some of the other ones because there are some really, really good ones. And a theme I'm noticing is that they're either excellent or horrible, not really anything mid. Take, for example, the Colorado Rockies, who we have right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I've seen some people being critical. I think these are clean. A lot of people don't like the green pants with the majority green top. I do.
You make these purple, then I'm a huge fan. You lean into the Rockies purple. The green I get because it's more ecologically accurate, I guess. But yeah, too much green for me. Make it purple, then we can talk.
Smoking weed and shit.
Speaking of smoking, I was going to say they look like a pack of Newports.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Do they make menthol cigarettes illegal? Is that a thing? They were trying
I
to.
have no idea.
Can't even exist in the society anymore. What the fuck? Randy, scroll down because I want to give some love to your White Sox. These South Sides look really clean. I like these a lot. Not really sure what the logo is on the hat, but the jerseys itself, I think it's nice.
Extremely clean. You just can't wear these in the middle of summer. You're too hot.
True.
That's very true.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. The Marlins have a couple of different things going on, which we won't see here on this example. But if you do search for them at all, it's what you would expect. And I give the Marlins leeway to do whatever the hell they want because ever since they put the pinball machine out in the outfield and took it away, I think they've let the world know they do not give a fuck about what they put on their jerseys, and I can appreciate that. They have no traditions. That's their tradition.
Scroll down a little bit to the Padres because I think the Padres have maybe accused of a little bit of Miami swagger jacking. I don't really know.
I can see that.
You see it? I don't know. When I see pink and like these colors scream Miami Vice to me.
Agreed. Real quick, the Nationals. I'm not big on the whole obsession with the cherry blossoms, but the uniforms are dope. I support throwing some pink in any jersey you got.
I don't disagree, KJ. I think gray is just such a give up color on any sports uniform ever. It's just like either go white or go black. Gray is just such a washout color. Ugh.
We got to talk about our Texas Rangers. The Gothic lettering, Randy. I don't know if you're going to find it on there.
It's not on that initial one. You may have to check the others. While he's pulling that up real quick, I will just say we do need to give proper credit. Houston's is okay, Space City, whatever. I just like that they're one of the few navy and orange teams out there. Brews City is great, and Kansas City Royals with the piping of like that font they've got going with that is tremendous. So. Let's get to the Rangers.
I think the biggest thing the Rangers have going against them is that they thought that they needed to make uniforms for the Metroplex. It's far too big. It encapsulates too many towns, two very, very large towns, and then Arlington, where they play, which is a large town in and of itself, KJ, your hometown.
Randy pulled up a 9x9 image.
Sorry, Randy. There you go. I kind of handcuffed him on this one. Didn't send him a link, but we could just say that it's getting widely panned. They're doing something that I've never seen done before. I feel like no one has ever just said, you know what? Let's create a mythical creature. Not only is it a mythical creature, but it's a hybrid mythical creature. It's a blend of the Dallas Eagles and Fort Worth Panthers. Two teams KJ and I are very familiar with. We won't get into detail, but we both know a lot about their history. Got to say, as far as intimidation goes, the Peagle, as they're calling it, pretty dope. The thought of a panther that can fly, frankly, it scares me, Brett.
Yeah, isn't that called a griffin or something like that? But also, please, as somebody who's super ignorant on the Dallas Panthers, or excuse me, the Dallas Eagles and Fort Worth Panthers, what are those?
Those are some teams from Dallas and Fort Worth, respectively.
So much history, like legendary. Like, if I had to rank them, certainly up there with well-known franchises around Dallas, Fort Worth, such as, I don't know, the Burn, the Sidekicks, the Brahmas, the Arlington Optimist Texans.
A minor league team playing in the Texas League between 1949 and 1957.
Oh, of course.
When there were certainly no civil issues in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah, Dallas is famously very progressive during that time. Not really. What was the other team? Fort Worth.
So they were 1920 to 1925, Dave.
Okay. Even better.
I knew that, right? Yeah, they were, I'm sure, socially leading the charge.
You think they were serving Bud Lights at their games?
Yep.
Okay. Look, I knew we would
say in the Fort Worth Panthers, though. That was you're more familiar with the Fort Worth Cougars, am I right?
Okay.
Of course, the reference here is that I've hooked up with many, many older women in my day, and that is just not the case. Brett, Jesus, this guy, he sits in for Dillon and immediately gets in the horny chair.
Got to keep it warm.
KJ,
the first manager, real quick, of the Dallas-Fort Worth Spurs, Whitey Lockman. The last manager of the Fort Worth Spurs, Cal Ripken Sr. And even mix in a JoJo White to make sure that it stays very white all the way through. I don't know if that's who's being referenced here, but anyways, back to the jerseys.
KJ,
if this was an expansion team, would you hate these jerseys?
Yes. I don't like that. It's the hat for me. I like the color scheme, what they're trying to do with the white and black. A lot of people don't like the black pants. I do. Black, white, and red can be sick. Had they just done something a little bit different with the logo. It's just a little too gothic, and they threw in a spur, which I like the spur. But I don't know, man. I think this will probably grow on me, and it's not like they're wearing them every series. So I do want to clarify one thing. I've turned producer Randy's mic up because Brett alluded to a griffin. And Randy, you had a look on your face. I'm curious.
It's similar, but a griffin has the body of a lion, the head and wings of an eagle. So it's close, but has the head of an eagle, Brett. So you're completely wrong, and you're an idiot.
It's a cat family.
Yeah. I mean, Randy acted like I missed that by like 9 genuses. No, that would be considered like the same fucking family.
Who you got, Peagle or Griffin? Right now, head up.
Dude, Griffin,
King of the Jungle. Imagine if if the tech was there for the King of the Jungle, which is weird because lions aren't really jungle animals. If a lion could fly, then a lot of people, a lot of species, humans included, are in trouble.
If a lion could fly,
correct? Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Not super aerodynamic, so that maybe that's what would save us. But like you take a 6-foot raptor, a bird of prey that existed millions of years ago, and put up against that a flying lion who appears to be relatively new to the skies. I'd probably take the raptor.
There's a learning curve
for
the lion.
I would probably put a manticore as the number one. It has the body, head of a lion, wings, and a tail of a scorpion. That'd probably be the one that takes it home.
I put any of them against me in a 30-06, and I don't like their odds.
Yeah, I'll take the A10 Warthog.
Here we go. Country KJ.
Before we move on, I was not aware that this was the title, but the term ahead the clock jerseys, you mentioned you weren't familiar with them. I wasn't either, but I think we both are. Randy, if you can pull that up, just Google turn ahead the clock jerseys and just hit images. We're doing okay relative to this era.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
This is the sleeveless jersey era, oversized logo era.
When did this exist?
Your boy,
I remember.
late 90s for sure, because my 8th grade photo in the yearbook is me in a black New York Yankees jersey with blue like trim sleeves. Of course, there were no sleeves or shirt underneath that. So I was in on the turn ahead the clock jerseys and did not realize it.
Yeah, I forgot about this, and these are really, really bad. And I actually kind of feel bad for dogging what a lot of the current ones that we just did, because they are not anywhere close to this.
No, Rocky's sick. You can't go wrong with the Purple Mountains.
God dang, dude! I just want to have a team that has a good aesthetic. None of the only Dallas team that has a good aesthetic for stuff like this, it's the Cowboys, and it's because they refuse to change anything. Because why mess with something that's classic? Whereas like the Mavs, anytime the Mavs try to roll out an alternate, it's always trash. Even though I almost bought one at a game a few years ago, I try to convince myself that no, actually this is dope. It's not dope. They don't even use them anymore.
No, I'll give the Stars some credit. They do okay. Like that's sick right there.
The Winter Classic is a good jersey. It's a good sweater.
They do well with it. Yeah, I'm very nervous
Well,
where Fanatics is about to take the NHL jerseys. By the way,
The Mooterist jersey would say otherwise about the Stars' history. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but as we're talking animals, Randy, can you Google Mooterist jersey? I'm sorry to do all this in one day.
Are you
but
saying
the Stars
Mooterist?
have had a miss?
Yeah, you can.
Yes, I definitely am.
Oh, it's like the Brahma Bowl.
Mooterus.
Mooterus. It's like a uterus, but moo.
Correct, because they threw up a jersey that had the, what do you call it, astrological design of a Brahma, and it just looked like a big bikini logo.
Yeah, this was not a good time for Dallas Stars. I think this is toward the end of the Madonna era. Might have been losing his C.
I
don't
see
know.
why they call it the Mooterist, because it's fallopian tubes and a uterus.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm picking up
my
what
All
you're
right.
putting down.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that. I thought that was like the actual name for the mythological creature. Okay.
Well, I'm not the only one that refers to it, as you can see. But anyhow,
All right. Last thing on baseball, Rangers went into Houston, took a series for the first time in forever. It feels really, really good to be competitive again. Not saying we're going to win the division. Just want us to be competitive for the wild card, and I'll be happy. Amazing what that Astros lineup looks like without Altuve, and how more approachable it is, man. Really nice not having to pitch to him. But
damn it, I forgot that he was out. That really takes away from the screenshots I've been sending to the Astros fans in one of my group chats. He's just like, yeah, enjoy the early season wins, and then sends a picture of a World Series trophy. Anyways,
it sounds like you're slaying in this group text.
no, just taking L's about weather, basketball, everything.
We got to talk NBA.
Let's do some round ball. Yes.
This is why we brought Brett on.
I watched multiple basketball games this weekend. First time I can say that in a year since I watched playoff basketball last year.
Do you have a financial interest?
No, I just straight up watched it. I had a blast watching the Suns Clippers game. One of the most fun basketball games I've seen in a long time.
You rarely see a guy who's 3 for 19 take over a game in such a way, but God darn it, if Russ didn't do it, you know what, man? He's a guy who I have at times when he was on the Thunder and I thought the Thunder were about to run the world. I really, really hated him. And then I grew to love him just because I kind of like started following him on Instagram and I was like, oh, I like his personality. He does his own thing and I respect that. I was happy to see that. Not only because I do hate the Suns with a passion, it was good to see Russ contribute. Big defensive play there, especially on Booker.
Booker,
oh my God.
is he like the my first impression seeing him play for the first time in my life? Little bitch.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He has run afoul of Luka. He and Luka butted heads many times, especially in the playoffs last year. He's a great scorer, and he played good defense last night. And he is a good player, but not someone that I really, really like.
Yeah, it was fun to just like the Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant book, and then you got like the Paul George-less Clippers with what's his face, Kawhi, and like it felt like watching an All-Star game.
Yeah, Kawhi is still that guy. He's still that guy, pal.
Why does he wear ankle socks? He looks like he's from the 90s.
Because he's a weirdo and he doesn't care. Like he's just that's what makes him great. He's just not concerned with like he's like the polar opposite of KD. And KD is very concerned about what people think about him.
Yeah,
Whereas Kawhi is just like, yeah, I'm gonna wear these shorts from 2001.
right.
Who
He's like
cares?
Kawhi because he looks like he's dressed to play at the Y.
Exactly. I like that.
Okay.
He did a
I
thing.
respect it. Watching the rosters of teams in the West just makes me sad to be a Mavs fan because I look at their rosters as, Brett just laid out two of them. And you look at the Mavs, now with Kyrie, you feel a little bit closer to what experience people are getting elsewhere, but you just lack, I don't know. JaVale McGee and Tim Hardaway Jr. are like the equivalents of here are some names that have been around the league and done things places, but now they're additional usable parts. D'Angelo Russell being the number 3 on the Lakers. It blows my mind when you see not really depth, but just how many names on some of these teams where you're like, yeah, I would definitely like to be able to root for half of them. Real quick, the Warriors Kings, I missed the game, but I did see the chatter online after the fact. E40, respectable artist in and of his own right, out of the Bay Area, always at Golden State Warriors games, was apparently asked to leave the game at Sacramento because, according to him, he said racial bias still exists because I guess the fan that was complaining behind him was a white woman. But he'd been warned by security that he'd been standing excessively is what the official statement was. They're looking into it further.
He was doing the Brett Merriman
Stand-up challenge.
He was doing the stand-up challenge.
Good for E40. I respect excessive standing.
You should send him a personal
agree.
note.
He's doing better. KJ can't stand on one foot anymore and put a sock on. So
Okay.
He had to do it to him.
The thing is, I wanted to tweet out a little bit of privilege, and people took it as I just am no longer capable. I'm just saying I'm so comfortable in life, I don't need to stand up and put my socks on. It's just, it's wild.
Dude,
you find me in an airport bathroom trying to change out of one outfit into another, like a work suit to casual clothes, and your boy's not sitting down anywhere to put on those socks.
dude,
I'll figure it out.
in the gym, in the locker room, there's so many dudes who, because they're butt naked, they want to put their socks on. They don't want to sit down because, it's just weird sitting down naked, for me at least. And you get so many just old dudes trying to put their socks on while standing naked. And it's like, dude, one of these days you're going to fall into somebody and it's just going to be a weird scene.
it's also the ugliest a human body can look is a hunched over either underwear pull up or sock put on.
Yeah,
Nobody looks good doing that.
you're right. You're right.
We'll do a little mental copy and paste. That same human being, throw some shorts on them and then drop them about 3 feet over a pool. All of a sudden you're like, this is about to be a sick can opener. I'm here to see it. You put it in a locker room and I'm not there for it at all.
I love where your brain just went there, KJ.
Anyways, E40 got kicked out. It was a problem. Whatever.
I like E40, West Coast legend, man.
Can we get some knee jerk picks of who we want? Speaking of knees and jerking, who you want to see in the finals? I don't know. It connects kind of.
Well, I mean, I always, so since the Mavs aren't even in the playoffs, I'm like, all right, who do I hate the least? I actually like Giannis quite a bit.
Is he okay?
Back contusion.
Okay.
Last I saw, they were going to see how he felt today. I assume he will be back, if not for game 2, but for game 3. That was, of all the injuries that went down yesterday, potentially the least worrisome. But yeah, I like the Bucks. I wouldn't mind seeing the Bucks win another one. That team, they do have Grayson Allen. Oh, fuck, see, there's always something, always somebody. Whatever, that's fine. Give me the Bucks, KJ. But then you have my favorite moment of the weekend when I actually did turn on the Lakers Grizzlies. Pulling for the Lakers, by the way. Just can't stand the Grizzlies. Don't like anything about them. Used to love Ja. There was a time last year where I wanted Dillon Brooks. Actually, still want Dillon Brooks in my team. He's a great player, but God, he says some things and he stirs it up, man, which is good content. I'm glad he does it. But that team, man, when Ja went down, landed on his hand, bent it back the other way. I thought there's no way. He came back on the bench. I don't know what the word is. I don't see how he could possibly play again.
X-rays negative.
How?
And it was not the wrist, apparently. It was the hand that they were looking at, but game 2 certainly in question. Tyler Hero also injured, but he for sure broke, I believe, a finger out for the Heat.
That's
who from the West do you want to see? I guess, are you saying the Lakers?
No, from the West. Man. Actually, Lakers, anybody from the East is a great matchup. Realistically, anybody but Phoenix and Memphis. Anybody but those two teams. I do hate Phoenix more than I hate Memphis, but those are the two teams I do not want to see make a run. I don't want to see a happy ending for Chris Paul.
Brett?
I want to see the Knicks make a run. I feel like it would be fun on Twitter if the Knicks were involved, because then you get like the old guys coming out of the woodwork, and like Russillo or whatever. You know, he's a Celtics guy, but like you get that would be fun basketball Twitter. I feel like to have the Knicks in the mix, so to speak. Out of the West, my grandfather would love the way Nikola Jokic plays.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul, but gigantic dude with a lot of beef on him and a crew cut. My grandpa would be like, well, see his footwork, Brett? You got to pay attention to him. I'm like, Grandpa, I don't play basketball, so I don't really care. But he's so alarmingly big, and he moves like it doesn't look smooth, but you can tell it is in a way. Like, I don't know.
His footwork is phenomenal.
Yeah, it just kind of like he's a little herky jerky with it, but it just I'm sure if you slowed it down, you'd be like, oh, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
He just makes plays, man.
He does. He's phenomenal. That's a team. Nuggets, Bucks would be really fun. You'd have Jokic, Giannis head up, and I really don't have anything against the Nuggets. That's a good team.
I'm gonna go Nuggets as well. Jamal Murray. I think we kind of forgot about him because he was out all year last year and how tremendous he was to watch in the bubble, and then he got hurt the following year. So give me the Nuggets. Man, the Knicks would be exciting on Twitter. There's no question about that.
I can't see the Jalen Brunson thing is such a
that's true.
a
Jalen
misstep
Brunson
in the
might.
Mark Cuban era.
I like Randall though. Julius Randle's awesome, but
Dallas's own.
Exactly, and maybe I don't know what it is, but I think that I'm past my hate of Trae Young, and I don't know if there ever was any hate, but I'm over Trae Young's. Like, I don't think he is as hateable as he used to be. And maybe it's just because Devin Booker's taken that spot. But I really like Sadiq Bey. Give me the Hawks losing to the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final, and I would watch almost every game. Or the Cavs ahead of schedule would be tight too.
Yeah, the Hawks, they are on the verge of implosion just because you always love to see someone leak that Trae Young is on the trade block. Right before you start your first round series. And then like the stuff starts coming out that he's not a great teammate, blah, 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 chartered his own flight home. I don't know. I have nothing against Trae. I like him because him and Luka seem to be good friends. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I like this guy. That's a really sad way to exist and watch sports. Like, does this guy please like my star? Please like my favorite player? That's how I exist. It's so sad.
KJ, I take my answer back. Whoever Bam Adebayo and Serge Ibaka play for, I'm rooting for them to win, so their value goes up.
Oh my God.
And now I'm looking at the Hawks roster. I don't think I love it as much as I thought it did. I just like DeJounte Murray. I like John Collins, and I like Sadiq Bey. I don't know why, but I like those three players. So yeah, whatever. Give me the Knicks minus Jalen Brunson. I think that'd be fun to see. Anyways.
Okay.
That's round ball.
Fun. Man, was I glad to see our good friends at Bird Dogs hop back on board. Brett, when they sent us that package and we busted it open, it was like Christmas morning. Do you remember where you were? You were here, actually. Do you remember?
I don't think I was here.
Oh.
I got back. I came back and they were sprawled out.
Did you miss your chance? Did you lose some stuff? Dillon probably took most of the good stuff.
I did. They sent, but we have this thing where the hindquarters of Washed Media are kind of, it's kind of nice because there's two medium boys in Will and Dave and two large boys in me and Dillon. if we get so we kind of get to I get a good pick.
Then you got Randy with his dump truck ass.
We don't really know what size Randy is though, because his legs are a medium, but his ass is an XL.
Randy, I'm putting you on the spot here. How you liking your bird dog shorts?
Oh, I'm loving them. I'm loving them. The joggers. I'm loving everything.
What size are you?
It just depends on the
Yeah,
brand.
see, Dave, it's hard to do.
Generally, the pants and shorts I'm medium, but shirts it's between medium and large now.
The
Ooh,
liner,
thick
the
boy.
liner in the joggers and the shorts is an all-time liner. It's so good.
Doesn't ride.
Doesn't ride. It's perfect because we've had issues with that in the past. You get one, and once she gets up there, you're like, I want to adjust, but I'm at the gym. I'm going to go to the bathroom to do this so I don't get arrested. It's a whole thing.
Mhm.
You don't have that issue with bird dogs, KJ.
Not at all. In fact, as soon as I got my delivery, being the only XL here in the group, I immediately went back to the website and said, I'm going to need at least 1 or 2 more items. I don't know if you've perused their options, but your boy did add I did a lot of coca to his repertoire after getting his delivery. So I am stocked up on both bird dog shorts and pants.
The fit's great. The comfort's there. The stretchy fabric makes my legs look great. And if you can make my legs look great, I don't have great legs. I don't think, but they look good in bird dogs and they're versatile. They give me the freedom to wear one pair of shorts or pants on the golf course or to a meeting, a date with my wife, of course, or even the biblioteca if I want to go read a book.
I'll give a personal anecdote here, Dave, as I know advertisers like the driving range.
You spend a lot of time there on your swing journeys. Bird dog your go-to?
It's in my rotation.
Okay.
I hesitate to call it my go-to, but it is in the rotation.
That's huge.
I'm just trying to be honest here.
I got some news for you, Brett. You can enter promo code BANG at checkout for a free Yeti-style tumbler with every order. It's a metal thermos that keeps your drinks hot or cold. Yeti sells them for like $40. How about you just go get some bird dog stuff, enter code BANG, and get that free Yeti-style tumbler with every order? How about that? Pretty dope. Shout out to Bird Dogs. Happy to have y'all back on board. Ooh, Brett's segment.
Oh, yeah. This is Brett's Tab, brought to you by Walk On Sports Bistro.
Okay.
The best menu in the country, Walk On Sports Bistro. Check out the one in North Houston. The Klein Tomball area. Fantastic walk-ons. More TVs per capita than anywhere I've ever been, and a great menu to boot. The Ole Miss spring game was this weekend, Dave. And boy, am I a sicko, because I watched every snap of that thing.
You really have a problem.
It is disgusting.
Did they have a moment of silence for any recently departed team members?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Moment of silences would be appropriate. Did they take any penalties in their spring game for any recently departed team members?
Because not that I saw.
Your
Some
national
SEC
champions
teams, East teams need to tap the brakes.
Okay. I see. I
did not mean that as a pun. Next, keep on going.
Jesus.
What happened in the Ole Miss spring game?
We have there people are talking about how there's a quarterback battle. I don't think you can take anything away from what was happening. They were running about 3 defenses total. And they were just all base vanilla bullshit. And they were playing thud, and I try to make stark conclusions from that game, even though nobody should, nor any spring game. Although I did think the Florida game was funny when the coach came out afterwards. What's his name? Napier, and was like, "Yeah, we suck. We need a quarterback in the transfer portal. We have no Anthony Richardson walking through that door."
Respect that honesty, though.
Yeah, it was fun to see. Ole Miss QB depth, probably better than it's ever been. Spencer Sanders looked good. He's probably not going to win the job, and I would assume he transfers in favor of Jackson Dart. But this kid, Walker Howard, Dave, LSU recruit, who transferred to Ole Miss this spring, whoo, buddy. I'm excited for his tenure, which I believe will start next season.
I'm excited for you.
I'm pumped.
We're going to get some calls to the dip line about like your love for Ole Miss, which always happens, but who cares?
It's my team.
I'm happy for
I never
you.
had a college football team.
You
I have
picked
one
a
now.
team, you rode for
I picked a team, and I've not gone off the path. I picked a team.
You picked a team with a fun coach, to say the least, that is not like a powerhouse by any means, but is competitive. So you did it right.
I donate to their NIL collective, $42 a month.
He's disclosing it publicly.
So now that's my. So this is just basically a sports party before the sports party. Austin's sports bar scene extremely lacking, Dave.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
Completely
have,
agree.
You have the Woodrows on one end, which is like a good place. If you want to just go watch the fights or a game, fine. It's outdoors. It can get really hot. You're sitting on metal stools for most of the time.
The turf heats up.
The turf heats up. There's no good sports bar in Austin to have like a good to really good meal and enjoy a TV situation.
Have you done Lavaca
Randy?
Street?
Yes, I have.
I was gonna thank you. I'm glad you added this.
It's still a dive bar level. Like there's no. I need carve downtown. Is what I'm saying. With more emphasis on watching sports.
Do y'all not have a Moxie's? I think that's what the Dallas equivalent would be, a Carve plus sports.
Is Moxie's the place in the Crescent?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Moxie's a little, well, I'd say high end for Austin. Every new restaurant that opens up here is like
it goes too high end, so they don't have any TVs.
Exactly. And Randy got geared up there. What do you got?
It was Lavaca Street was the way to go. Isn't what about the one on
you, Randy.
South Lamar, like Thule or something like that?
The South Lamar Lavaca Street's kind of like
no. There's another one in South Lamar, but there's another one right down the street from us. I think it's like called Toomey or something.
Toomey's. Their only problem that they have going for them, and Dillon would back me up on this, is that they're apartment complex bars, and they kind of all of them put off a certain like apartment complex bar thing.
Yeah,
you need like a standalone sports bar in the corner, like where Parlor is.
There's a feeling that it's not going to be there for much longer.
No.
Although Lavaca Street, the other one, the South Lamar location, it's technically under an apartment complex, right?
It is.
Right next to Broken Spoke.
The 4th Street downtown is the one you go to.
That's
with Turf and Tap or Turf and Surf and Turf or whatever it's called.
Good
connected
food.
to it. That one is solid.
Yeah, it is. It's very solid. It's just a degree of divey for me. It's not a business dinner and watch Monday Night Football kind of place.
Oh, okay. Brett, look, I could confirm. Brett will go sit at a steakhouse bar and bust open a laptop on you.
So will Dave, and Dave will meet former right guards of the Denver Broncos.
That's true. Shout out Jay Carver. Need to have him on still.
Okay.
And then lastly, congrats to the United States women's hockey team winning the gold medal in the Women's World Championships, Dave.
Yeah, I saw that. That's huge. You could hear the USA chants coming from my home.
KJ, you watched that game, right?
A lot of Badgers on the roster, I'm sure. If they won, for sure. Not positive to name any here in the moment, but I'm sure.
Oh, man, I'd love to hear how Brett is in on pickleball, but unfortunately, we just don't have time to hear about your pickleball journey.
I am very much in on pickleball now.
Okay.
No way.
You and everybody else, apparently. All right, well, let's party. Get on out of here. This is the part of the podcast where we talk about sports and we party at the same time. It says here Dillon was right about Jalen Hurts, KJ.
Oh, I forgot. Dillon was not right about Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts got paid.
He did.
$255 million contract or $1 million contract, $179 million guaranteed with a no trade clause. Lamar out there. Price just went up? Question mark.
Man,
shout out to the Washington Commanders and their pending sell to some guy and Magic, even though the some guy has the money. I can't remember his name. Eric Harris, I want to say, and I'm probably wrong.
Apollo Capital, I believe. I believe there's some couple Epstein connects there. Not necessarily with him, but with his former business partner. That's okay. We can get to that another time.
Follow the money.
Follow it.
In here, I don't know who wrote it, but it says Snyder purchased the Commanders for $800 million, did nothing but ruin RG3, kill Sean Taylor, rebrand, and sell for a $5.5 billion profit. That is conflation. Congratulations, Dan Snyder.
I feel like you wrote that. You do these bullet points generally.
I'm the one with the sub bullet points always.
Yeah, that's you.
Shout out to NCAA's recruiting rule changes. We can go more into depth on this next week. How about we hit it there? Unlimited official visits and additional support post-career. Some interesting things there.
I like it.
I have takes on that.
Oh, might have to have you back in the building.
Cliff Kingsbury back in college football as a quarterbacks coach for USC. Welcome to the Big Ten, Cliff. I mean, USC is going to be fun either way. They were going to be fun before, but I hope this works out.
I do too. Look, he doesn't have to worry about money, so I just hope he has fun. We like Cliff here, even though he's not that great of a coach.
Very humble, though. We'll stand in line at a party.
That's true. Famously. A little Spieth Fitzpatrick shootout at old Harbortown Way yesterday, Brett.
Love the cannon situation they do.
Everybody loves the cannon. Spieth had two really, really good opportunities to close that out, and he did not. And,
Did he necessarily lose it, or did he just not win it? Like, did he?
He
par-
lost it
did he-
and then didn't win it at
Okay.
the same time. He lost it because he had the lead, and Fitzpatrick got it to a playoff, and then he had two chances to shut it out or to shut it down, and he did not. And Fitzpatrick threw a dart on 18 in the
Saw that.
third playoff hole, and it was sick. And Matty Fitz, he gets the plaid jacket.
I like how they're trying to be a thing. Good for the RBC.
It is. I know it when I see it, and that's important. It's an elevated event, very successful. I think Matt Fitz won like $3.6 million yesterday to win the fucking Heritage. Shout out to him. Oh yeah, Russell Wilson rolled a golf cart. That's all the information. Apparently he's okay, but I don't know if he's trying to get Dillon to post him on TFM. I'm not really quite sure what the plan is, but yeah. Hopefully Russ is okay and back at it very soon. And that concludes the sports party. Brett, would you like to run us back?
Sure. This is Run It Back, the segment which we talked about what we already talked about. Usually my thing, usually Dillon's thing. Now it's my thing today. Here we go. KJ got a light dusting of 3 to 4 inches overnight. Dave went, quote, taco loco over the weekend. That's 12 tacos, folks.
Taco crazy.
Taco crazy. KJ used to reheat pizza with digital media hardware.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Fact.
Wyatt Johnston looks like a TikTok teen, according to Dave and Brett. Dallas Stars fans, according to Dave, not super sports fans.
According to me, I'll say it. I can say that.
Shouts to Brent Rooker, who has dropped a few upper deckers the past couple weeks. Ever since the Marlins took the pinball machine out of the outfield, KJ notes they, quote, do not give a fuck. I don't even remember what the pinball machine was.
It is just a weird bit they had.
The Dallas Eagles and Fort Worth Panthers were way ahead of their time socially, we think.
Mm-hmm.
Unconfirmed. KJ is definitely not slaying his group text.
Sorry, buddy.
Never.
Kawhi Leonard, more like Kawhi MCA.
You like that one,
I'm
don't you?
gonna run that one to the ground. Dave, not a fan of sitting down butt naked in the gym.
Nope, too cold.
Dave, also not a fan of grizzly bears.
Nope. Yes, what?
Maybe that was the grizzly. I got that. Serge Ibaka and Bam Adebayo are taking the playoffs by storm this season. Tune in and check out their performance.
Pretty sure Serge isn't on the roster. Bam in Miami, doing fine.
A lot of Badgers on the USA women's hockey team, according to KJ. I'm a pickleballer now, and KJ does most of the sports party. Bullet points if people were wondering. Little pull back the curtain there. That's the conclusion of Run It Back.
Brett, where can we find you?
Cold Stove Pod. Myself and NRD, we do hockey stuff there. Mail-in podcast. Myself and Sally DeFries, we answer questions there. And Merriman on Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow my social stuff.
Very cool. KJ, thank you. We'll be back next week with Dillon. Until then, we'll see you later.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips
Go Stars.
plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
Mama, there goes that man.
When my team wins a big game, it's good.